And it's work. All right, guys, here we go. Round three already. Whew.
Flying
So,
by, man.
oh man. Um. All right. So, like I said, I got a little bit of a hit list. So, um, what did you guys think of the retro night?
Um, I don't know. You mean as far as did it make any difference
Well,
or
the
what?
the thing I didn't like is not that many teams I saw do it. You know,
Well,
like
it's kind of unofficial, isn't it?
I don't see the thing I listened to today. It kind of sounded like they didn't really have it planned out. I think as far as a time frame, but it was
Hmm.
like who did it? The Muscle Milk or Barsha's bike was done up. That was cool. And then there was a few privateers that had kind of the old school numbers on it. And then the Joe Gibbs guys, they had the
Yeah.
Hannah kit. I thought looked pretty sharp. But yeah, other than that, it's I think
Well, I think that's the thing is I don't know that it was very well organized or if it was even something that they had intended to do. It seemed like a few teams jumped on it, and obviously the track was they said it was a throwback to like 2001,
you know
but which I liked. I liked the track, but um, and then I think that Kyle Partridge had old school numbers on his bike and stuff, so only a few people really did anything with it.
right, and it's like I think it'd be a lot cooler if all right, you're gonna have retro night. I'm sure it's a pain in the ass, and I don't think you need to have like old school gear, but like the bikes, at least have all the bikes look kind of old, or kind of have everyone run like the same number or something. You know what I mean? Just not just have a few guys. And I didn't see any lights guys do anything, so I don't know if they're not allowed to participate or what.
I guess
But
I don't see the big draw behind it. It was hard to tell because we're watching it at Applebee's, so I thought it was kind of a non-event anyway, but thought maybe there was more going on.
Mm,
But I think by doing that, okay, you're going to have the big teams that are going to have the funding to make all the changes and make it all happen. In a way, I feel like it singles the privateers out, because they're not going to have the money to make the big changes just to make their bike look different or run different gear or whatever. So I guess I don't even really think it's necessary. I don't know why they do it. If you want to say, hey, we're going to bring back a track from 2001 or whatever, that's fine. But to tell people, oh, we have to do this for retro night, to me, it's not necessary. I don't think it's a big deal.
The only thing I guess I would say is, all right, so now this is retro night. You get a few people that do it. Now, like when they do the breast cancer thing, it's like there's going to be pink all over that place. You know what I mean? But
well, I
Yeah.
think a couple years ago they did retro night, but it was a little more. I mean, it was like I don't know, it was better orchestrated or whatever. And they had even the pit announcers. They had I don't remember who it was, if it was Aaron Bates or whatever. She was dressed up in like all '80s gear, like she had the big hair going and a lot of stuff like that. I don't know that. I don't think they did anything like that. I think all that happened is because it was the 40th anniversary deal. Some people jumped on it like it was a retro,
mm,
and then they did the track from that. But I like the track idea. I think what they should do is look back in history at some of the cooler tracks or the tracks that produce better racing and reuse them and see if it really is the track design that makes for good racing. Because we had pretty decent racing on this track. So,
um, I don't know if you caught this today, Jeff. Did you catch the Racer X little podcast?
no, I haven't really done anything today listening to it.
So they had Jason Thomas. I guess he was out running around doing something, and Bob Hanna was trying to find out where he was supposed to go or something. And he's walking through all these people, and he goes, "No one has any idea who he even is." And he's like, and it's like, God, that's Hurricane. And he's like, and then he finally yells at him, and then he, walks through the people or whatever, and he gets to where he needed to go. It's like, could you imagine RV? He's not going to run, the concourse or whatever they call it to go grab something. He'd just get mauled by people.
Yeah.
But which, I mean, I'd be the same way. It's like, like Johnson, Bale, Bailey, any of the guys before that. That was obviously before my time, so I don't like the dude that won the first Supercross. I wouldn't be able to pick him out of the crowd either, but
Yeah. Well, it's not like this is a sport where even if you were watching it back then, you never, you rarely saw their faces. So to really know what they look like is kind of tough.
What else we got? All right, so Jeff, you said that you like the track.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I didn't really like is I thought that they were kind of getting pretty low on the lap times. I don't know if that was
Oh,
the
like
TV.
George?
Yeah, like I'd like to see them closer to the minute mark,
Yeah.
And I think they were 52, 50, somewhere in there.
Yep, right around the low 50s. But at first when we started watching the broadcast, I don't know what it was, but it looked really narrow compared to previous races. And I don't know if it was because they were bringing back a layout that maybe didn't fit and they had to force it in there, but it seemed, Jason mentioned too, I think that he thought the cameras were maybe a little closer than they normally are, which made it look a little narrower. But at first I didn't like the track. I didn't think it was going to have very good racing because that there was that whole section that just kind of went in a continuous circle. And usually when you have those, they kind of become one-lined, but it actually turned out to be pretty decent racing. And it maybe wasn't necessarily because of the track. I mean, it might have just been because people were falling down all over the place. But
I think that had a lot to do with how how the track conditions ended up. It got so dry and hard packed that, like you say, there was a lot of crashing and a lot of people going down. I think that's what contributed to that. As far as the track itself goes, as I agree, I think it looked like it was kind of crammed in there and actually looked kind of more arena cross-ish than a supercross track. I don't know why. It seemed like it was wrong way.
Oh no.
If they're trying to make it look like this,
Jason, you're gonna have to go stand outside.
Am I? Am I falling apart?
Yeah, you're falling apart, that last one.
I think you should get a new phone company, Jason.
Son of a bitch.
Oh,
think so?
Too damn cold to be outside. Speaking of that, is it cold out? I haven't even been outside yet today.
All right, stand by.
Stand by, you're going outside?
It is damn cold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been...
Yes. I'm going to go sit in my van. I'm going to drive my van to get to where I get the best service, and then I'm going to park there.
Oh, funny. Yeah, I haven't been outside yet either, but... The other thing I heard, it was, I guess, a little rocky. I guess Way got a flat tire in the main. Albertson got a flat and didn't finish. I guess Stewart got one in practice. I watched maybe 5 minutes of the online practice. Otherwise, I didn't catch anything this time.
Yeah. Well, some of the shots that they had on the TV broadcast that were really up close, it did look like it had a lot of pebbles and stuff in it. That didn't. I mean, it made it look like the insides were going to be super slippery. But,
yeah, you'll have to listen to that the Racer X thing from today. Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Like, they put, I don't know, gravel in there if it gets wet or something, and then it's like now you gotta, deal with all that mixed in with all that dirt until they get new dirt. So
yeah.
be interesting to see if the next one, if it's as bad. Well, the next thing on my list, how'd you guys do on the fantasy picks?
Ooh, I got 42 points.
Oh, damn.
I only got 2 positions, but it was starting to all come together for me too as we watched the race when I had Dungey out of the top 5, and then he was leading it and he fell down, and I was looking damn good. I think I picked RV, Stewart, Roxon, Barsha, and then Reed. So I kind of jacked up my first and fifth because I had RV winning and Chad getting fifth, and it finished out the opposite way. If those two had swapped positions, I'd have been looking pretty good. But Barsha, I don't know what the hell happened to him. He was nowhere to be found. So
No, I didn't even. Oh, let's see here. How did he even finish? Barsha. Wasn't it? Yeah, 11th. Yeah, it was pretty rough. I had Villapoto, Roxon, Stewart, Brayton, Dungey, and Tickle. Tickle was my wild card, and but yeah, so the only one I got was Brayton for 4th. So all I got was 18 points. So, did you get your thing to work, Jason?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
No, on your fantasy picks.
Oh. Yeah. I didn't get any that I picked.
Well, I seen that the winner didn't, like, one of the top guys got like 67 points or something. I think he was 3rd, so it's doable if you can get 3 of them to get some prizes anyway.
Yeah, 83 points won it this last week.
Yeah. Yeah, if I'd have had 2 more right, like I said, if those 2 would have swapped positions, I would have never picked. I mean, I didn't think Reed was going to win. So.
No, that was. But I mean, he qualified 5th, so I mean, he was up there. All right, so I got 18 points, and for 2 weeks in a row, my wild card failed to qualify. So,
What? Villapoto for your wild card next time, then.
You are the kiss of death. I'm going to keep picking Villapoto to win. So.
Oh, man. We'll talk about him later. I think he's in trouble. All right, so next I want to talk a little lights racing. I didn't see and or hear what happened. I just saw a photo of Darren Durham taking a little dirt nap in one of the practice. I think that's the one I started to watch. But I guess he was knocked out for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, that one was, I don't know, it sounds like he was fine, evidently, but he was unconscious for a while, so I don't know what happened. We did see that, where did we see that Wilson landed on that dude?
Oh.
We saw that on Facebook or Instagram or something. John showed us a video of it.
Yeah, John found that somewhere.
Yeah. That was pretty, could have been worse.
Yeah, I was just watching it too, and it looks like Dakota Tedder, just about as he's being landed on, he took his left hand off of the bars, and he was going to, I think he was going to signal to someone, what the hell, because that's why he wasn't able to triple. And as he was lifting his hand up to scold this person, he gets landed on his right side by Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah, all I heard was, he went double single, and obviously Wilson tripled.
Yeah. It actually turned out, I watched it just now here. I'm watching the race, and I watched it in slow motion, and it really didn't even look like it was very bad at all. He barely tagged him as he came down.
Yeah, that's kind of, a little bit this way it's nothing, and an inch the other way, and your arm's broken in half.
Yep.
So then that's 2 heat wins for Wilson, right? Didn't he win last weekend too? Or as far as heats go? So I don't know. I think I made a note that they got the pro circuit curse. I think it's back.
What do you mean back? What was it before?
Well, wasn't there a stretch? This was quite a few years ago where like pro circuit guys were getting hurt all the time. They're not getting hurt, but like, Wilson crashed, Hill crashed, you know.
Yeah, Hill had a great race though, despite the crash.
Yeah, I got
watched
that.
it today, and he was just freaking way back there.
Yeah,
and came back to 5th. So.
Yeah, 19th to 5th is what I got. So that's pretty good. So then Anderson takes the heat win, but I think Seeley was kind of catching him in the heat race side of it.
Well, it was tight. It was tight for the first, I don't know, 3/4 of the race, but by the end he had gapped him quite a bit. I don't know if Seeley just said, "F it, you got me. I'm gonna save my energy" or what, but
I didn't. Did anything exciting happen in the LCQ?
no, actually, all most of them were pretty boring.
Yeah, because
The qualifying races were kind of dull.
I just remember kind of sitting there watching, and it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of boring, I guess.
That one dude went down at the end. He had a transfer spot. I can't remember his name or number, but he kind of looped out in a rhythm lane and threw it away. But other than that, there wasn't any like last lap heroics or anything. So
awfully quiet, Jason.
Oh, I'm here. I'm enjoying my beer.
I'm assuming you haven't seen it at all, huh, Jason, since Applebee's?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
So I am extremely ill-prepared.
We got to watch it without sound.
The fuck. Well, at least you got to watch it.
Yeah.
So then, I thought I made a note that, so Anderson got a bad start, and by bad start, I think he crossed the finish line in like 5th, maybe, or at least that's what the scoring has him. See if I can't find it. Yeah, Jason Anderson starts 5th. So, here's my thought: if Anderson was to pass Seeley and win that race, I think Seeley would have to retire from racing. Like, just ride that thing right up to the garbage can, and I mean...
Well, it wouldn't have mattered. He'd have got docked 2 positions. So, yeah.
It's like, oh my God. I watched it again this afternoon, and I thought he was further back than that, but...
As far as what? You mean on the start?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm sure that just shows him after the conclusion of the first lap, right?
Yeah, I'm guessing you're probably right.
Yeah. So I think he was too. We watched.
What was what?
What? What was what?
What was the whole deal now with the docking of positions? Because I didn't really follow that.
So
be more clear about docking. That.
So they hit that finish line jump, and then it did like a left 180 or whatever, and then there's kind of that little rhythm section, and then they hit that big double in the corner, and I didn't even notice it until after I heard about it and then seen it this afternoon. There was a guy standing right on the tabletop with the Red Cross flag, and here comes Anderson, and I'm guessing it was the guy they were lapping, shortly behind him. And yeah, he jumps right on that table, lands, jumps off. I think he doubled all the way through the section.
You know what, really? Though? I watched it again today because I was trying to figure out what was going on, and he would have never even seen that flag until after he completed the turn to jump that, because he tripled, I think, the beginning of it. And I mean, there was just absolutely no time for him to let off or do anything differently, because he comes charging into that corner, and he would never have even seen the flag until he was already committed to the jump. And from the camera's angle that I saw, the guy was holding the Red Cross flag, and then right behind it he had the yellow flag. So the camera was looking at it from the side of the yellow flag. You couldn't hardly even see the Red Cross flag because it was on the other side of the yellow flag. But Anderson would have seen it, but it would have, like I said, it would have been after he had already turned and committed to jumping the triple. But as soon as he saw that, I think he let off and rolled the rest of the way through it. I don't think it was, and the guy that was down wasn't even on the track anymore either. He was off to the side and out of the way. So I'm kind of blown away that they made a big deal out of it and docked him.
I'm kind of trying to go off of memory. I see your point if he doubled or tripled on there, but I think he hopped off and doubled again after. I don't think he rolled after he got through, and I think there might have been one more flag. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. But yeah, I was surprised like they didn't even say anything on TV about it, you know. I didn't know anything until today.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It didn't seem to me like it was, I don't know. I didn't think that there was anything he could have done about it. Like I said, once he realized the guy was off the track, what do you do? I mean, don't you assume that if you see the downed rider, and he's off track, you can continue to ride? I mean, we made the comment about how these guys ride through yellows like they don't even slow down.
Right.
And I just, if you can see the guy and the medical crew working on him off the track, I don't know that.
To a point, what are you supposed to do anyway? I mean, like you say, if you can't see him until you're already committed, what are you supposed to do? Jump on the binders and kill yourself? I mean, the way that the tracks are set up, you can't just shut down.
Yeah.
So I'm not real familiar with the situation, I guess, because I didn't get a chance to go back and look at it. I read about it, but never really understood what the deal was. But that's the thing I don't understand. If the guy was right there, if the flagger was that close to the crash that he didn't have any kind of warning, then, I guess it goes either way. If a guy's laying in the middle of the track and paramedics are out there and he runs into him, then we're all saying, what the hell was he thinking?
Right.
So it's a tough call either way.
I wonder, and I don't know how much what the cost factor would be, but like how they got the flashing red lights on all the triples.
Yeah.
What about doing something like that on the rhythm section?
Well, to me, rather than going by what, how big the obstacle is, we're going to have lights here because it's a triple or whatever, doesn't make any sense. Why don't they go by section of the track or lane of the track, So this lane, the whole lane now is under Red Cross or whatever, rather than just this jump.
Right. Nope.
So I'm watching it right now, and it was right after the finish line double. Anderson lands, and of course he charges super hard into the corner and goes high into the berm, and it's a pretty tight 180. And by the time he even straightens out to be able to see the flagger, who's on the top of the first jump, which, if you don't want someone to jump that jump, why don't you put the flagger a little further up into the track? To commit to that jump, you have to basically commit before you even enter the turn.
Right.
You're committing when you're in the turn because you're carrying so much speed, and there's nothing he could do. So he jumps over the first tabletop and then lands, and then rolls, and then, yes, you're right, he hops up onto the next tabletop and then rolls off of it. But like I said, the guy, so as he's passing the downed rider, when there isn't anyone on the track, there's a bike on the inside of the turn before that big double that's being pushed off as Anderson hits the big double.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it was super minor, and like I said, as soon as he realized there was a red cross there, he goes, he had so much momentum from jumping the first one that he didn't have much choice but to hop up onto that tabletop. It's not like I suppose he could have tried to stop on the landing there and just roll that single, but I think he did everything he could, and he's at least 12 feet from the flaggers and the down riders, or where the down rider was, so I don't know. Seems to me like it was a pretty hefty penalty for what happened. I think, you get the AMA getting all this shit from people about not being consistent and not enforcing the rules, and then they've kind of gotten into a position where if they want any credibility at all, they have to enforce the rules to a T now. And so I think that's what they did.
Well, what about if, let's say the Troy Lee team or um, the Yamaha, they saw that, like, hey, what the hell? And
Yeah.
then they say something, and I think the rules isn't it you can't double on a Red Cross? So it's like,
Yeah. It's wheels on the ground. So
yeah, so it's like, okay, well, right there, he doubled on a Red Cross. What are you gonna do about it?
yeah. Well, and I don't think it makes who knows? It might make a big difference in the long run, but um, I don't think that if he'd have caught and passed Seeley and won,
Mhm.
I would bet money that they wouldn't have docked him 2 positions
Mm-hmm.
because they don't seem to ever want to take a win away from someone. It seems like all their penalties happen to guys that are further back. I've never, I don't, not that I can remember ever seeing them take a win from someone. What was that thing last year with Villapoto? Didn't he have some deal where he
Oh, yeah,
had
yeah,
Ello or something?
yeah. He almost passed. Yeah,
Stewart,
Stewart.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know. The AMA doesn't seem to want to take a real hard stand against any of the big name guys or when it's for the win. But and I mean, I guess you got to give them a little bit of credit because they followed the rule book because the rule book does state that they lose any positions they gain by doing it +2, and since they didn't gain any, he just lost 2. But
Which,
that makes for tight racing because what are they 1 point back or something now, or 2 points separated?
I'd have to look it up quick. I thought it was funny, and you guys maybe didn't, obviously with no sound, but uh, Jeff, when Anderson's getting interviewed on the podium, he said that he gained valuable points out there. And I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. It's like you finish second to the guy that's chasing you in the points. I'm like, I think you lost points, but maybe he just thought I could see like, yeah, I got a bad start and get as many guys as you can. Obviously, yeah, not then you're saving point or you're getting points, but
Yeah, he probably meant that he was saving valuable points, not gaining them. But
shoot. But yeah, we Wilson crashes again. Hill crashed, but like we said, he finished 5th. Well, actually, is it 5th now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got 5th.
I was watching that too. He was so far back by the time he got going. I mean, the guys were, the leaders were like 2.5 lanes ahead of him. And to come back to 5th, that's pretty remarkable. But I think we talked about this before. The field's not very deep. I mean, you get outside of those top 5 guys, and the field's not very deep.
yeah,
It'd be nice to see Wilson. It's like, let me check to see. I think he even qualified decent.
I think he qualified fastest.
Second fastest.
Anderson got him right at the end. That's right.
So, I mean, qualified second, wins the heat race, and then, it's like the wheels fall. Didn't he land on the tough block? He, like, jumped too far over.
Yeah.
And
it was in that same section that Anderson jumped. He tripled the first part way over into the tough blocks. And
I remember watching that. I'm like, because I think they just kind of panned away, and I saw a guy jump, and I'm like, man, I think that's a little too far right.
They just caught. You could hear the announcers kind of go nuts too, but they couldn't quite tell from the camera's point of view whether he crashed or not. So they had to go. I'm sure they were probably looking out their little window in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, I remember saying that. I remember, saying, did he actually ride out of that? And right away Jeff goes, no, there's no way.
I thought for sure I saw him actually stop. So, I mean, the camera was just moving away from him as it happened, but I thought for sure he landed right into him, and looked like to me like he stopped right away, and then they went back to it. And of course, that's the exact same spot. I'm sure the damn flagger was up on the jump, flagging, and of course no one had a chance to even do anything because at that point it was too late. They were already jumping, and you seen Stewart and Osborne get into his bike.
Yep.
So I think that if they want to, they should probably look at changing the position of their flaggers if they really want to keep it or make it safer out there.
Damn flaggers.
I'm sure you could ask Wilson, and he would be bitching because it seemed like as soon as he went to get back onto his bike, he threw his hands up in the air because he's like, what the hell is going on here? There's guys still jumping my bike.
Yeah. Well, same with Hill too. Wasn't that in the same spot that he crashed too?
Yeah, it was. That was kind of a dangerous start to the race because everyone's getting pushed wide, and then there's guys trying to jump too. I mean, what was that? That second 450 heat race, half of the field wasn't able to jump that double. I think just the first two guys were able to jump that double, and no one else could.
Right.
So immediately they got a huge gap on everyone because something happened and one guy didn't jump it, and then none of them could. But
let's see here. Fuck my computer. So I wonder, didn't they give Cooper Webb the whole shot?
yeah, I seen him getting a $1,000 check or something.
Yeah, and then I was looking at the race or the online results or whatever it is. They got Seeley with the whole shot, so it's like, I don't know. I want my $1,000, bitches.
I'm sure his bonus for a win was a little better than that. Probably doesn't give a shit about that 1,000.
So, all right. So with the doc, we got Seeley first, Cooper Webb second, and then Malcolm Stewart finishes third. So
that's not too shabby considering he went down on Wilson's bike.
All right. Is there anything else you want to chit chat about on the light side? I thought it was kind of, like I said, I don't know, I guess kind of boring. I thought, like Wilson crashed, Hill crashed, yeah, but, yeah,
it wasn't nearly as good as the first two.
Right.
We thought it was going to be. I mean, I guess I thought it might materialize, but Seeley was riding good. He just kept his they were running about the same pace, so there wasn't much Anderson could do to catch him.
See, I didn't, like I said, I didn't get to see that section in practice, but they must have changed something. I think it was before the whoops. There must have been like a triple, or they changed something. I think Wilson said something about it in his heat race interview.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to really see anything, like I said, but, I wonder why they'd switch something like that before, Because didn't Wilson crash like that when he broke his collarbone last year or something? Like that lip got knocked down and then...
You know what, Scott? I'm just watching this again. You know why they called Seeley the hole shot?
What do you got?
The hole shot line was drawn on the top of that first jump. Or Wilson, or Hill goes down, but Cooper Webb definitely did not round the corner first, but he snuck to the inside and got his front wheel up and over that jump first. Which is kind of weird because the Nuclear Cowboys hole shot thing, that big arch that's curved out over the track, is way, it's like, I don't know, it's like 30 feet sooner than that jump. Maybe more. Probably more like 50 feet sooner than that jump. So I think there was maybe a little bit confusion of where the hole shot mark actually was.
It's somewhere down there. You guys figure it out. All right.
Just give the $1,000 to who needs it most.
Yeah.
Bummer. Which leads me right to the 450. I heard that you guys remember Cody Gilmore, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Broke his collarbone.
Yep.
Fuck. That sucks. But I don't know. You guys, you want to sing some oldies?
You got a phone call or what?
Yeah, we got a phone call. All right, I'll be right back, fellas.
All right.
Tell the YouTube viewers about your trip to Texas.
Oh, nobody wants to hear about that.
I am watching this race right now, Jason, and I thought I would look at how far back Justin Hill was. And I don't know if you remember the track, but
Not really, no.
so there's 2 full lanes of basically the length of the stadium, and he's just going off of that big double where everyone starts, and the other guys are they're 2 full lanes ahead of him. So it just blows my mind that he came back to 5th.
Yeah, that's
Especially
pretty
with that
impressive.
retarded-looking rear fender pointing straight. If I buy you a fender, will you put it on?
He had the beaver tail going.
Yeah. I think it's funny, too, after Wilson crashed, his fender was straight up in the air, too. So
Yep.
both pro circuit bikes out there had the gay-looking fender.
It was a statement for throwback night.
Oh. So
What the hell did you do all day?
Nothing. I
Nothing?
literally laid on the couch all day. I must have been recovering from that retarded drive.
Oh,
I don't know why that crushed me so much, but I slept till noon, and then I went back to took a nap at like 4 o'clock until 5:30. So
awesome.
pretty boring day for me. Get the bikes washed?
No.
Oh.
John came and got his, so
Oh, did he?
yeah. I didn't do much today either. I only slept till about 8 o'clock, but
Yeah.
didn't really get a whole lot done. So
No, I'm definitely. Texas was a hell of a lot better weather situation than up here.
I
Not
know.
real pumped about the snow we got again today either.
No. Had a lot more sitting up here from the other night or whatever. Cripps' driveway, there was still a good 5 inches there, even with what melted.
Yeah.
Couldn't even hardly get in last night.
I didn't think we had gotten that much here until I went around the side of my house, and it was pretty deep over there. But where Laura shoveled was, most of it had melted off. So.
Yeah. Stupid snow.
Fuck.
What else you got on your list there, Scotty?
Oh boy. All right. So now with Brayton winning the heat race, I kind of felt like because Stewart was not Stewart. Didn't RV kind of challenge him a little bit, and then Brayton kind of fought back a little bit, and I don't know if something happened or like maybe his RV just not used to, like maybe used to coming up behind guys and oh it's RV, let's just kind of move out of the way and we'll race for second.
Well, that's what I thought was going on before, but seems like Brayton decided he was fast enough. I don't know. It was kind of weird seeing. You're right. Villapoto did pass him in that heat race.
Mm-hmm.
It was in that section right after that big double, that weird rhythm section. That was like a little weak rhythm section. But then Brayton had that line on that in that section where Reed was doing really well too, where they'd triple up onto those tabletops, and then that's where he passed him back. So I think that's probably. I mean, what do you think Villapoto's thinking when he's been such a dominant dude in the past, and then guys like Brayton are challenging him and passing him, and that's got to be frustrating for him, but who knows? I mean, maybe it's just because of the track. I'm sure he's capable of going on a frickin' win streak,
Right.
So.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Is like, is it, is Brayton finally it's clicking for him? Is it something with the track, or is it just a combination of everything? And
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I mean, Villapoto, it's no secret that he's not real good when the track gets slippery and gnarly and with the gravel and everything else. So I think it's a little bit of that, but I still think that Brayton's got something figured out, and I think maybe Villapoto's starting to realize that, maybe starting to respect him a little bit.
Nice. What'd you think of Dungy running into everybody?
I think he maybe listened to our podcast last week.
Well, I'm sure everyone's been bagging on him about it, but you know what though? I mean, what was he supposed to do? I guess the move on Tickle was for the final transfer spot. No, it wasn't. That
No.
one wasn't. So that one, I don't know if he meant to take him out or not because he looked back like, whoops, you know. But then the next
Yeah,
one, when he ran into Hill, he didn't have much choice there. It was the last turn. He had to get a transfer. So I thought it was so funny because we're watching it without sound, and I'm just thinking, I bet Carmichael's fucking head's about to explode because you know he likes Dungey. Dungey trains at his place, but he's out there running into both his guys and knocking them out of the main.
Yep. Well, and I think, I think RC knows too. It's just like, what do you expect? That's the last spot,
Yeah.
It's like
Well, he did a good job too. After listening to it today, he did a good job about trying to be non-biased, and he said something about that's what you got to do. It's a transfer spot. It's not like they're both in already. If they were sitting in second and third, Dungey wouldn't have done that.
Right.
But,
yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was funny. I love the last lap. I mean, the last lap thing on Villapoto looked like something that you'd see at fucking Jordan or something. I mean, it looked. They're barely moving, and he just kind of runs right into him and tips over all slow. It was just hilarious.
And then isn't Villapoto pretty much like standing on his motorcycle?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was basically sitting on it, like, good luck getting me off of it.
Well, and neither one of them looked like they had any urgency at all. They were just like, oh, whatever, let's get going. Whenever you're ready, guys, we'll go.
I didn't even pay any attention to what the gap was between. So that'd be seventh place. I know there was another guy that came, like Dungey kind of cut over on to go up that lip, but I'm guessing that was probably a lapper anyway. It wasn't for a spot.
I'm gonna watch it again here because I'm right there. I want to watch Dungey run into Villapoto. That made my night.
Well, it just seems like, I mean, if Dungey hadn't gotten a little bit aggressive, he wasn't going anywhere on that track. There wasn't enough room to make a clean move in any situation, so just did what he had to do, and kind of nice to see him break out of his shell a little bit.
Yeah, it was nice to see. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, Villapoto just lays there but then he does get up, and of course Dungey, I don't know what, they just didn't look like there was any, he wasn't looking like he was all that anxious to get going.
Right.
If you're gonna run into the guy for the spot to try to get that extra point back, to take over to get ahead of him in points or whatever, at least act like you're in a hurry to get going.
That dude hasn't run into that many people in probably 3 years of racing. Smokes 3 people in 2 races. All right, and then so Stewart wins Heat 2, and I don't really think there is any excitement in that other one. I just don't remember anything catching my eye.
No, the best part about the first heat was Brayton and Villapoto, but they really don't mean anything. So you can understand why guys aren't going nuts to try to pass. If Villapoto didn't go nuts to try to beat Brayton, then so be it. The main event's what counts. But
right,
turns out Brayton had a better main event than him anyway. So.
And then semi, my fantasy pick jumps off the track. And then, what did I put on here? Tickle goes down hard, land on tough box, and then lawn darts it into the face of another jump. I was like, no! Damn it. But I haven't heard if he was okay, though.
I didn't see anything on it either, so I don't have any idea.
I thought I saw earlier here that he was okay, but I might have been reading about somebody else too. So I probably shouldn't have said that.
See, I thought I'd seen something on Twitter, and I don't know if this was just a random fan. They were talking about Pike, and they're like, if Pike's not on RCH by the end of the week, blah, 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 or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I should have favored it or something.
That's not a bad idea, but I don't know what the deal is with him. It seems like I know everyone says he's got a lot of baggage or whatever, and his dad is kind of a dink or something, but I don't know. It just seems like it would make sense to give him some help and make it a little easier on him. He's doing pretty well on his own.
I'm gonna say he got. I thought he
Seventh.
got 7th. Yeah. Yep. So. All right. So now to the main. Did you see? I haven't seen it yet, and I don't know if they had a good angle on it. But did Dungey's feet get kicked off the foot pegs before he went into that corner?
Yeah, I think the angle that they showed, I watched it a couple times, and they've got a far away shot that makes it really difficult to see what happens, and then they've got a close up shot, but there's a big like inflatable thing that's in the way. But it looks like he gets kicked, and yeah, it looks like his feet come off, and he's basically doing a Superman into the corner, and he tried to ride it out, but his front tire just washed out because there was no weight on it, I'm sure. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he just went into the corner and tipped over.
no,
It's like,
it was because of the whoops.
okay.
Like I said, I was freaking loving it right then because I had my picks, and it just looked like everything was falling into place for my picks. And before Villapoto went down, I was looking damn good.
You had Dungey to. You said you didn't have Dungey in the top
No,
5.
I had him out of the top 5.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I had him in 5th. All right, so he crashes out, and then it's kind of cool with RV and Roxon kind of back and forth.
Yeah, I think I know they talk about on the Pulp Mex show about how long it could last with two fast guys training together, but I think that I don't know that anyone expected him to be this good this soon. Because it was pretty interesting watching him. He ran it in pretty good on Villapoto after Villapoto got by him, and then he repassed him.
But they haven't really hit each other, you know.
No, but he's definitely not willing to just back down and let the guy go. You see that a lot of guys with a lot of rookies that come in and think that they're not in the title fight or whatever. I think Roxon has a whole different mentality that's fun to watch because I think he knows that he's a legitimate title contender.
Yep.
And I don't think he's going to let off. I'm sure he's going to have some bad races because he's, a rookie and inexperienced or whatever, but he hasn't really had one yet. I guess the one where Barsha put him down was the worst last week in Phoenix, but
Yeah, I guess with everything that happened, it's like, yeah, he's the points leader.
Yeah.
And
well,
I think
imagine had he not been knocked down in Phoenix, he was running pretty good there too. He may have finished. He may have a pretty decent points lead right now. He's only one ahead of Villapoto, but
what'd you think of Stewart getting his foot stuck in RV's forks?
not much to say, I guess. Villapoto rammed into him.
I just couldn't believe how I would have thought maybe Stewart's leg would have, something happened to his leg, kind of I guess I've never seen anything like that before, I guess.
Well, I thought it was kind of funny when it first happened. It was going so fast that I thought he actually kicked him. And when you look back at it, obviously in slow-mo, you can tell that it was completely accidental. But I see that he did say today he went old school by throwing his leg in somebody's tire and getting him to stop.
See, when I first saw it, I thought he hooked his foot peg or something, But yeah, I thought that was pretty crazy.
I thought it looked like he just gave him a good old-fashioned kick, which would have been hilarious.
All right. Well, we already talked on Dungey running in on RV at the end. But like you said, Jeff, I thought that was kind of funny. And kind of the other thing, with I said, look at what Justin Brayton has started. It's like he kind of ran it in a little bit on RV in the heat race, and then it's like Roxon did it, and then I think him and Stewart were going to have a nice little battle, and then he goes down, but it's just kind of like, I don't know if that's right to say. It's almost like maybe people are, he is beatable, and they don't need to get out of his way. I don't know if any of that makes any sense, but
Well, I think time will tell. It's hard to say because this was not your typical Anaheim track, at least, that we've seen in the last few years. It seemed a lot different. So, if they keep throwing in changes like that, who knows? Like I've said before, I hope to God that somebody has something for him because this has been fun as hell to watch so far.
right. And like I said, I think, I don't know. Yeah, it just, he just seemed like a little off, maybe, and yeah, it was good to see. Well, I guess the last thing we got to talk about is old Reedy pulling out the win.
How about it, huh? I pick him for 8th in the wild card, and look where he goes.
Wow, I don't even know where I had him. I don't even think it was an option. But I don't know why I overlooked him. I mean, he qualified. It's like you can't go off of qualifying. I think that's how I did my picks. I just pretty much 1 through 5 on my qual. No, because then Reed would have been on there. I don't know. I need to
I
quit
think
thinking.
it's so tough right now because I know the same thing happened to Jeff because I actually did the picks for him, and and the same thing happened to me. I went through them, made my picks, and it's like, wait a minute, I forgot about Barsha, I forgot about Brayton, I forgot. So you start thinking, well, what? Wait a minute, there's too many guys to pick from here. All of a sudden, where did this come from?
Oh. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. It's like he got into third I think he was in fourth, and they're like, he's catching them, he's catching these guys, and then he catches them, and what was it then? What, Stewart and Reed went down, right? Is that how he got into no? Stewart and Villapoto goes down, so then he's in second, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that how it shook out? But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool to see him catch a win.
I'm back. I'm sorry.
I was wondering where you went.
I got a phone call.
Oh, I was gonna say you must have shut the door this time.
Now we're just talking about Reed pulling out the win.
If it would have been anyone else, I'd have been pissed because of my fantasy thing, but I was super happy to see him win.
Yeah, that was.
And it was funny, too, because I was watching it today, and, 6 laps to go, he was a long ways back still.
Yeah.
I was trying to, I'm like, I know how this ends, but I just can't believe that it ends that way.
Well, I can't believe the way he checked out once he did get around everybody. I mean, he was gone. There was nobody that had anything for him when he was all by himself.
Yeah, as soon as he passed Stewart, he gapped him by 4 seconds immediately.
Yep.
It was within that lap. I don't know what happened. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the lap times because Stewart must have just dropped the anchor. Or, I know Reed set his fastest lap, or actually he set the fastest lap of the race on lap 18. So he was flying. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But I kind of wish Villapoto would have stayed upright because that would have been. I mean, imagine if Reed had passed both of those guys to win.
Right.
Because there's going to be them people that are like, he only won because so-and-so crashed and so-and-so crashed, but.
Well, I don't. A lot of times there's an argument for that. I don't think you can say that about that race. I mean, there's so many guys right now that it's so difficult to make a pick, and he's one of those guys, another guy that's thrown in there that you just say, what the hell? But I don't think you can say well, the only reason he won is because everybody else crashed. Obviously he was the fastest guy on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeff. Yeah, Reed's fastest lap was on lap 18 with a 51.8.
Well, I want to say that was the fastest lap of the night, wasn't it?
Uh,
In that race?
yeah, their freaking grid they gave me is kind of jacked up.
I was reading I thought I read that on Racer X.
Yeah, out of Villapoto, Dungey, Stewart, Tedesco, Brayton, Weimer, Reed, Hahn, Way, and Short. I don't know why it's just those. Maybe that's the top. Was that 10 I just listed?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the top 10. Yeah. Yep, he had a 51.8. Villapoto's best was a 52.3. Dungey was a 52.0. Stewie had a 52.1. Brayton was a 52.5. So.
Well, and I hope that it's a sign that, obviously he's in shape because you don't set the fastest lap on lap 18 if you're winded. So he's healthy and in good shape, and his speed seems to be on par. At least it was on this track. But I thought that was kind of interesting that, one of the only guys that was around racing in 01 wins on a track that was built after a track that was built in 01,
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool to see, that's for sure.
I'm just glad that he got all of his crying done before he took his goggles and his helmet. I was waiting for him to throw his goggles into the crowd, but I think he didn't want to take them off because he was crying.
Did you notice too that when he parked his bike up against the side of the track, he parked it up against a discount tire banner?
Yep. You suppose that was on purpose?
I don't even imagine. I can't imagine maybe he did. Maybe he was looking for one of those, but Emig pointed that out right away after he did it.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. That's it, boys. That's my list. We got nothing.
Great radio, bro.
Great radio, bro.
Let's make fun of Jason a little bit. So we're at a gas station, and we're talking to someone. I don't remember what we were even talking about, but Jason had said all of about, I don't know, 3 words to this woman, and she goes, "Do I detect a little Minnesotan there?" And everywhere we went, everyone was picking up on Jason's accent, like, immediately.
I didn't even think I had that much of an accent, but apparently, because it happened 3 or 4 times. We're talking to this kid at a dealership in Decatur, and I'm the only one that's even talked to him. Nobody else has said a word, and I have said, like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "Oh, you guys from Minnesota?"
I remember that one time we went down there. We're staying in Stillwater, and we're at the hotel, and we're all out kind of in the parking lot just hanging out. And this dude comes out, and he is just completely lit. And he's like, "Where are you guys all from? You guys talk funny." And it's just like, "We talk funny." I said, "You talk funny." So it's pretty funny.
I got a pretty good kick out of it.
So did you guys get to ride where you wanted to?
I think
Yeah, for the most
did
part,
all right.
I think.
We realized our mistake, the error in our ways, so next year we're going to go for a full week. So.
Because no one was riding on Friday.
Fridays and Mondays, it sounds like there's pretty much no riding to be had. So if we do it right, we'll go down on like Saturday, ride Sunday, take Monday off, maybe take Tuesday off, then ride Wednesday, Thursday, take Friday off, and then ride Saturday and come home Sunday. That should be a fun trip. Get more riding in.
I think that would be the way to do it.
Because you guys, how long did it take to get down there? Well, you went to Texas, so, I mean, isn't it like 12 hours to Oklahoma or Stillwater?
Yeah, it was 15 hours to the first.
15 hours.
Jason,
So,
you do
wasn't
all
too
the
bad.
driving? Everyone else sleeping?
I did on the way down there.
Ugh.
Well, I guess Jeff drove the last 3 hours, but then it was daylight out, so I wasn't sleeping.
Mm.
And surprisingly, I wasn't dead riding the next day either.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that. You know, when I added it up, Jason, that night when I went to bed, it was basically 40 hours. I mean, I slept for, I don't know, a couple hours in the car and rode, but it was 40 hours from the time I got up and went to work on Wednesday to the time I went to bed Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think that's part of the fun.
Yeah. Well, you know, you get to that point where you're super tired and everything gets to be hilarious. And we were talking about having a beer on Thursday night and get wasted because we figured that's all it would take.
I still think just a bottle of between the 3 of us, we could have
Bottle of mouthwash.
Yep.
How was
Plenty of alcohol in that.
so I hear I owe you a small fortune, but how was the gas monkey?
That was pretty cool.
Oh no.
Nothing crazy. We went to the bar there, and I was kind of fun to shop at all.
I didn't get any of what you said.
Jason, your mother is a snowblower. You sounded like Short Circuit there.
Fucking-
Son of a bitch.
Well, I don't know anything about the show, but I found that the grill and bar, the grill and bar was pretty decent food, but it was, you know, I mean, I don't know anything about the show, I guess, so I don't know if it lived up to what Jason was expecting, but the shop was kind of boring and not what I expected, but if you're a fan of the show, I'm sure it was cool because you saw a lot of the people that are on the show.
Oh, so you guys actually went to where their shop is?
Yeah, we pull in there and it's not like what you'd expect. I expected there to be like an actual parking lot for people to park because I'm assuming they get a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just like a little shop in an industrial part of town where you basically pull in and what parking lot they have on their property is all there is. And so we're driving in and there's a sign that says no entry, filming in progress. And I'm like, the gate's open, so whatever. I just drive through and pull around, and we parked and went in. And
They didn't kick you out?
no, they didn't seem to get too worked up about it. But we got there, I think, when everyone was at lunch because as we were leaving is when all the guys were coming back.
Mm,
So
cool.
We did get our picture taken because we had dirt bikes.
yeah.
Ooh.
Some woman came up to us and took our photo because we were apparently she was amused by the dirt bikes in the truck.
Someone from Gas Monkey?
No, she was
I
just
have no
a
idea who
tourist.
she was.
Oh. Oh, fuck.
Well,
cool.
if my setup here will let me tell a story without cutting out on me,
Oh, you're
I
good
got to
now.
get back at Jeff. So do you know John Mateka at all, Scott?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. He's quite a bit younger than all of us. But so he's with us, and little backstory on John. Both of John's parents are deaf. So we're sitting in a hotel room, and John puts this post on Facebook and has these like a fist pump or whatever after it.
Okay.
And Jeff's reading it on his phone, and he asks me what these things are after the post. He says, "Are those so John's dad can read it?"
For some reason, I thought his dad would need sign language. Keep in mind, I had been up for a long time.
Oh, man.
Well, the thing is, they don't even look like fist bumps. One was facing forward and one was facing the other way. It looked stupid as hell.
Ugh,
Well, I think the one was like a fist pump or whatever, and the other one was like if you were to be holding your bike wide open, there's kind of that hand signal.
Oh, okay.
But it's just one of those things where, everything was funny at that point. We would go into this hotel room, and it's an adjoining room, so there's the two doors between the rooms.
Yep.
And I go over there just being a smart ass, and I open it, I go, "Oh, I wonder what's in here." And John goes, "Oh, I already checked. There's just another door in there." Well, no shit.
Oh man. So who all? It was you two, and you guys had a little crew, didn't you?
It's
That
just
was
three
just
of us.
us two and John Mateka. That was it.
We
So
decided.
It was kind of the old dogs, and we brought a pup with us.
Nice. All right, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna sing some more oldies. It's not good.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
What's going on?
Sorry.
It's not even funny anymore.
At least he gives you a warning and doesn't just get up and walk away like I did.
Well, that's true. But I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do now.
Yeah.
We've lost our leader again.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I had to rewatch the race because I didn't think I remembered any of it. So.
I don't remember any of it. You guys might as well be speaking Greek when you're talking about the race,
Yeah.
And I didn't have a chance to go back and look at anything today either.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured this one might be a little hard to come up with stuff, and I'm exhausted still, so I'm not
Yeah,
really
me
into
too.
it. I kind of wonder. They're replaying that Villapoto and Stewart collision, and he was gonna hit him really hard. Like
Yeah, it
Villapoto,
looked like he was
he
gonna.
doesn't typically do that. I'm kind of shocked that
No.
he was on a collision course with him no matter what.
Yeah, it looked like he was kind of planning on teeing him up.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about?
How rough Villapoto was getting on Stewart when he came together with him, and how it's kind of uncharacteristic of him. The last couple of years, he's been so much faster than everyone. He just kind of blows their doors off without touching them. But in this case, I mean, he was going to hit him pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully they can kind of keep it coming.
I know. I love seeing people race him, and it's just nice to see people that are finally going to start to believe that they can beat him. That's the best part about it. Especially when you see guys like Brayton go out there. I mean, all these other guys that feel that they're better than Brayton, they see him battling and passing Villapoto in heat races, and they're going to start believing they can do it. So
Right.
It should get good, I hope. Hope we don't go back to the way it was, next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, RV hasn't pulled a hole shot yet this year, has he? Or he did, but didn't he crash? Is that what happened?
Yeah, first race, I think he pulled the whole shot.
I like it. So, yeah, hopefully they'll keep battling it out. And, yeah, I mean, I don't like what Dungy did. I don't think any of that's that bad, I kind of like it. And as long as they don't start chopping the whole corners and Mickey Mousing around, that's the stuff I don't like. But
I kind of want to see a rivalry start up here. I want to see some, and I like that Barsha and Roxon kind of want to go at it. And Roxon gave him a pretty hefty hit in the main event there when he passed him, but it wasn't. Maybe it was the heat race. Yeah, it was in the heat race. He went in and put a pretty big hit on him, but didn't take him out. But I liked seeing that. That was good. Hopefully they keep it up. Whoa.
What just happened?
I don't want to say.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man.
Let's just say it's a good thing my camera was turned off.
Oh, man.
Laura.
Oh shoot! All right, boys, that's about it. I thought my list was a little bit longer, but we kind of touched on everything and went through it pretty quick, I guess. So
Yeah, we were talking about that when you were away. We're not really as into it as we could be because of where we were at and stuff. So
no, that's all right. It's all right.
hopefully there'll be more drama. I mean, this race didn't really have a lot of stuff to talk about. It was a great race, but it was, I don't know. For me, it was kind of drama free. So not much to talk about.
Did you? I had to step away for a bit, Jeff. You didn't tell Scott about our brush with fame, did you?
Which one? With Alessi?
Yeah.
No.
What
No,
happened?
it's a good story though, and I'll tell it because I don't really give a shit what people think about him. It's not really a great story. It doesn't make him look like a good guy or anything, but he must have moved down to Texas. I don't know when recently because we were at the dealership and the guy that called out Jason as being Minnesotan. He mentioned that Jeff Alessi was living down here or whatever and talking about how great of a guy he is and all this. And what did he say? He's a good Christian dude. And
he's a good Christian dude. I was surprised, man.
So we're out at Oak Hill, and I don't know when, he wasn't there right away, but at some point we saw a number 801 Suzuki out there, and he had Alessi on the back, and he had Alpine Star gear, which is tough to get here in the States, so I figured it was him. And he was pretty fast. I mean, he wasn't, like, blowing anyone's doors off, but he was moving pretty good. And so at the end of the day, we were over talking to Jeff Oldenburg. He's the guy that owns Oak Hill now, and he's from Minnesota.
Okay. Yep.
And we were bullshitting with him, and a guy goes down on the track. A little kid went down, and there was a couple bikes piled up. So Jeff jumped on his KLX and buzzed out there on the track to help this guy. And as we're sitting there down by like his little, I don't know, observation tower, sign-up shack, Jeff Alessi's leaving. So he feels the need to come down there, and he's looking for Jeff because he's going to say goodbye to Jeff. And he sees him out on the track helping this down rider, and he starts whistling at him, trying to get his attention. And he continues to whistle at him basically until Jeff gets on his bike and comes back over here. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I kept my mouth shut. But it's like, really, dude,
Well,
you have to whistle at this guy to get his attention to let him know you're leaving, even though he's got a fucking kid down over there?
It was a ridiculous amount of time, too. It's not like he did it once or twice and then realized that, he's busy. He sat there whistling at him for 5 minutes. And it's like, same with me. I wanted to slap him and say, dude, what the hell? He's busy with something that's more important than you. I realize in your head nobody's more important than you, but
yeah. So then he comes up and he's, all he wanted to say was, your track was nice today or good today or whatever. I'm out of here. And so he sat and whistled at him and expected him to get up from this kid on an 85 who just went down,
Right.
and just leave him out there on the track and say, I got to go say goodbye to Jeff Alessi.
Well, yeah.
He pretty much cemented his status as a huge douchebag.
yep.
You guys didn't shine a laser pointer at him?
No,
He mentioned it,
just
too.
kind of let it go. Oh yeah, he was talking about it.
Yeah. He said, it's only like the second time I've ridden since the whole laser thing.
And you're still a douche.
Yeah.
Exactly. Haven't learned a damn
Well,
thing.
the funniest part too was Oldenburg talking about how slow he was afterward, talking about how he was doing lap times on him, and compared to
Yeah.
his kids, Oldenburg's got some pretty fast kids. I don't know if you know that or not, Scotty. Oldenburg's youngest boy, Mitchell, raced Supercross last year and did pretty well. And actually, I think he got a privateer profile deal on Racer X because he was riding pretty well. And
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's funny. I just watched Chad Reed take a big swig of the champagne afterward. I've heard he's a pretty big drinker, so that's kind of funny.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's walking back. He gives Stewart a pat on the ass, and then he takes a big swig out of his bottle.
Wonder if he's gonna get himself a little bonus.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
I wonder
think
how
we'll
that
see
works
the
when
earrings
you're
come
team
back?
owner.
The what?
You think we'll see the earrings come back? Maybe he can get them out of the pawn shop.
Oh shit.
Well, I noticed that he's wearing Oakley goggles now, so he must have got his goggle deal worked out.
Yeah, I must have.
I don't know if you heard about that, Scotty, but they were talking on the Pulp MX show about that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, like yeah,
He was wearing, yeah, he wasn't offered a good enough deal, and so he was not wearing logos on his goggles in hopes that someone would come to him with a better offer, and they must have.
get an SKD logo on there.
There you go.
Speaking of that, you do still or not?
What's that?
Do you do vinyl or not?
Oh yeah.
Bikes?
Not on bike. There's a guy at he's out this way. I've been trying to meet up with him because he's got the machine to do them, but so I just have to lay them out and then I could give them to him to get them printed for me.
Oh.
But I haven't been able to touch base with him. So, but yeah, I mean, I essentially I could. I just don't have the stuff to do it right at my house.
Okay.
So, you're looking for something?
Well, I thought, if you wanted to, you could, if you had the ability, I thought it'd be cool to whip up some graphics with your logo and maybe your little couch racing logo thing and put it together to deck out my bike.
It'll be all right.
Wouldn't
What?
mind.
Deck out a couple. We're going big time this year, Scott. We need help.
Yeah, we're gonna get some exposure. We came up with our plan for Loretta's now, so we're gonna. We pretty much decided that we're gonna try to get some riding in at Mount Carroll before the regional, because we kind of assume that we're gonna get through the area qualifier without any trouble.
But now this year, Melville isn't
Yeah.
on the
it's
schedule, right?
Down in Mount Carroll,
Yep.
Illinois.
Oh man, what's the area one?
Well, the one around here is in Little Falls.
That's horrible.
What?
You like that place?
I love that place.
Ay.
Well, I haven't been there since the area qualifier in 2009, but
Okay. You know Fish, right? Jason? Tony?
Yeah. Yep.
So this was a long time ago. We got the bright idea. We went up to like Ironwood, Michigan, maybe, or no, it wasn't quite that far. We went somewhere in Wisconsin and we did some race. He was doing like the vintage race with his old bike, and so we got the bright idea. I'm like, oh, let's go hit up Staples on the way home. Not really realizing how far it was from
I
where
was
we
gonna
were.
say, you were in what state? And
It's
you
the other
decided
side
to
of the
go to
world,
Staples?
man.
That would make sense if you were in North Dakota, but not Wisconsin.
So we roll in, and it's like we pull into the parking lot, and we pretty much get maybe like a couple hours of sleep. And mind you, I have no idea how Little Falls works, or was it? It might have been Staples. That's the same place, right? No.
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 Am I thinking of Staples?
Was it the place with the
Was
dome?
there? Yeah.
It's got to be the place with maybe, I don't know. I don't remember now. Okay, maybe if I tell you how they ran the format, you tell me if this is the right place. Because this one, it's not like you do practice and then the A and B go out, or everyone goes out. They ran all the 80s first, and then the big bikes went out for practice. So we sign up at like 7, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's
We go
Staples.
We go out for practice at like 1 o'clock or something like that. And I think I only ran one class. So 125B got done at like 3 o'clock with my first moto. I'm like, yeah, we're just going to go home. So we never even stuck around. So that was Staples. Okay, then I've never been to Little Falls.
Staples used to do the split schedule, and I kind of liked it because, we've talked about other places. I'd like to see some other places trying it because for guys like us that, it kind of sucks if you're only doing one class, how long the day is.
Right.
So if you could go there at, sign up at like 10 and be out of there by 2 or whatever, that'd be pretty slick. But, and it sucks when you're racing one class and you say you're the first or, whatever, early in the day you ride, and then you're sitting around for like 6 hours until it comes back around to you.
Right.
And
Well, that's what
I hate that.
What I didn't like is, okay, I go out for practice, and it's like, now I go out for my first moto, and it's like, there's just these, it's obviously the same track, but it's not the same track, It's just all beat up, and it was pretty rough that day for some reason, but it was just like, yeah, I'm not having any fun. Of course, I only had like a couple hours of sleep, but it was a good trip, but I had fun, but it's kind of like,
They did that back when Oldenburg's ran it. That was the guy that bought Oak Hill now.
Okay. Oh, shoot. All right, boys, that's all I got.
Real good.
I got nothing. We hit everything, talked about everything. Don't know if I'm missing anything, but I know, Jason, you're on a Honda. What are you navigating, Jeff?
That's 2012 Suzuki 250.
Do you know if the plastics are the same on the 450s as the 250s?
I don't have any idea.
I'd have to look. I think I got the 2012 450 graphics.
I would bet they're probably the same, but
I'm guessing they're probably same, but the shrouds would. But I don't know. I'll have to look. All right, boys. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
And hopefully next week you guys can watch the races with sound.
Well, as long as lightning doesn't strike Jeff's house, I think we'll probably be able to get
you want to
through
know
it.
what, Jason? I might be out of town next weekend, so.
What? You're
Yeah.
gonna make me watch it alone?
You can come with me if you want.
Cripes. We'll talk off air.
What do you guys think about like they're talking about Oakland, and it must just be in a shithole, huh?
Oh yeah.
I would imagine, yeah.
Jason Thomas was talking to, oh yeah, I'll be going armed and ready. It's just like, and I remember, I think, was it Malcolm said something last year, like, yeah, it's pretty bad. But wonder why they don't, I don't know, maybe if it brings in money or what, but I think if it's that bad, or, maybe they'd go somewhere else, but who knows.
Well, I'm just glad they're getting out of California and going out east, doing some other things. It seems like there's just so damn many races in California.
Yeah, that's the other thing I noticed too, is like they're talking about Reed, what now has 8 Anaheim wins and this and that. And I'm like, well, that's cool, but they also race there 3 times a year.
Yeah.
It's like, but, yeah, well. All right, guys, I'm going to get something to eat, so we'll
Hey, me too.
we'll chit-chat next week.
Real good.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll catch you later.
Take it easy. See
All
ya.
right, see
All
ya.
right.